In this lesson, we are going to be making a box out of our logos and other material that we've created in Adobe Illustrator. So first thing you'll do is open up Adobe Illustrator, and then I've already created a template for you, which is a TIFF file. So all you need to do is simply drag it and drop it into Adobe Illustrator. And it takes a moment or two, and then once it comes in, you will notice that there are some layers. So let's go ahead and view. You can either zoom out or just go ahead and fit all in window, and you can see the entire box. And then in window you can also go ahead and find the layers, or just type in F7. So what you want to do is go ahead and lock the box image, and then go ahead and click on the outline image, and we're going to now make an outline. And I will use the icon on the left, which looks like a pen, and then we'll go ahead and make sure we're in the correct layer, and I will simply outline individual components or pieces of this box. I don't want to do the whole thing, just the parts that you will see will end up getting folded. And you'll notice that as I do this, it's automatically being filled, and you'll see a little icon on the left hand side, and that is the color. And I can change color, and we will be changing the colors as we go along to fit your needs. And there's a lot of different ways to access these colors, but you'll notice on the left it changes and it stays that way. And then I'll click the section tool, and I'll start another part of this, and I'll do this. This is actually a lid, and it's important that you go all the way around, and you'll see where there's round parts. Don't worry about that now, but go ahead and just click as best you can, and we'll move these in later and get them much closer. Alright, so now we have that flap completed, and so what you want to do is zoom in on some of these parts, and you can click onto it, and if you notice, you will convert these splines. These are called splines, and you can manipulate them so that they're rounded, and that is important that you do this. And you can either scroll down with your mouse or just go ahead and use the icon on the right and simply round off these corners, and then go ahead and drag the points to where you need them. And you may want to zoom in and zoom out as you do this, and move it over. And it's pretty self-explanatory once you start, and you can always go back and then change the colors. So let's go ahead and zoom out, and you will see icons on the left hand side that you can also use to zoom in and out. And select the item, and you can change the color then, and you could do multiples at the same time. And then there are rectangle tools here that you can use. So select a color, and you can change these later. And I have the rectangle tool selected, so I'll just go ahead and add the rectangle there. Now it's important that you do the entire box, because we will not be printing out the box in its gray form. And then you can go ahead and lock it, and let's go to image, and we're going to essentially drag in from the folder of a logo. Now ideally you have a PNG which doesn't have the background, but I just grabbed this off the internet, and I'll go ahead and drop it in and make sure it's on that. And once it's in there, I can either right click it, or you'll see icons, and I can rotate it. Takes a little practice. And then just go ahead and rotate it, and you can scale it, and you can do a lot of different things with this thing. And obviously we'll position it, and then we'll add some text by hitting the T. I'll zoom in, and the other thing you can do is go ahead and create a new layer and call that text. And you can change the color of the font you want. I'll just revert to a black and say OK. And then go ahead and start typing. I love my Ford. Okay. So then you can change the fonts. It starts out with a pretty generic font, and there's literally hundreds of fonts you can use. Pick one that you like, and then go ahead and move this and position it as you want. And you're going to go ahead and do this with your own fonts, your own products, and we're just getting this in a form that shows you how this works. And you can scale this. There's a lot of tools. This is Adobe Illustrator. It's a very powerful software application. Alright, and I'm just about done with this lesson, so go ahead and zoom in. And I'll save this to my drive. And then we will be printing these out later when you're done and folding them up. And you should see it turn into a box with your graphics and a product inside that a consumer would potentially buy off a retail store. And you've completed the lesson.